So welcome to our meeting. Here we have myself, and this is not about showcasing our positions, but we will identify our positions so we know what we're doing. So I'm Steve. I'm the CEO of Local For You. And we'll start now with Yok on the top left and move away from Yok to Nan to Julia. Let's go.
Hi, this is Yok. I am an HR and kind of do projects and customer support still. Hi.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm Nan. I'm the sales manager of Local For You, the greatest company. Next.
Hi, I'm Julia. I work in the Brisbane office and I'm the marketing manager for Local For You.
Hey, I'm Steph and I oversee sales and work closely with Nan.
Hi, I'm Mui. I'm a customer support specialist supervisor working for Local For You company.
Welcome, Mui.
Hi.
Hi, I'm John. I also work in Brisbane and I'm the manager of the account managers.
And San, who will join us shortly, is the team leader of the account managers. Her seat's right there next to John, waiting to be coming in. She is aware, right? We have sent a reminder to her. Yeah, cool. Excellent. Well, if I could ask during this meeting time, going now and into the future, that phones are muted, talk to's off, and your phones aren't going to ring during the middle of this. So that's really good. Today, I just wanted to first of all talk about what is this meeting about. So this meeting is the first of its kind in Local For You. And when I say the first of its kind is we have leaders and managers here together. And this purpose of this meeting is to discuss sometimes the vision of the company, what it is that we are doing well, what it is that we need to improve on, and feedback that we may be able to discuss respectively across all departments, how something in sales is affecting account managers and vice versa. It's not designed to be a moan session or pick on anybody in particular. It's not a time to air grievances, but it is a time for us to build the business together. And sometimes I'm noticing of late, I'm having conversations with one team, but I'm not having it with the other. And then did I say it to Mui, but did I say it to Nan as well? I can't remember. Or did San know about this at all? So this is a monthly meeting held on the first Monday of every month. So I've already scheduled that for the year. And so the important things that we could discuss in this meeting, for example, you may have noticed if you've been here for a while, a little while ago, we instituted the chat protocols, right? What is an approved chat and where should it be chatting and how should we chat and vice versa? Does anyone remember that experience, right? But how did that happen? It happened because I saw some problems and some miscommunication. And as the CEO, I said, right, this is how we're going to tidy this up. Well, the purpose of this meeting, whilst at some point someone needs to make a decision, we're to sometimes bring problems like that to this meeting and say, okay, what do we all recommend is going to work? And we produce a solution and then we make a decision. And so what we're wanting to achieve out of this is more of a collaborative onboarding understanding of why decisions are made, and obviously hopefully make better decisions that you're the voice of your area and your department. And so we need to connect the ideas and philosophies with reality and realism. So that's the purpose of this meeting. That's just using an example of an issue that we may need to improve upon. So today I want to first of all just turn on the camera, and I want to discuss all the meetings because there's some new meetings, but I wanted to lay that out by explaining I don't believe we should just have meetings for the sake of having meetings. Meetings need to be productive. And as we move into a work from home environment, we need to ensure that we connect at the right times with the right people, with the right managers in the right way, so that we can build each area and department. So I'm going to just share another camera. I'm going to get really small. Wish it was only that easy. Okay, so I'm going to put my camera onto the whiteboard because I've made some notes, and I'm probably going to just stop sharing this immersive. If you guys go to speaker view, you'll see the whiteboard clearer. So right now, I'm just going to stop. Okay. What I mean by this is you should be able to. So I'm trying to act like we're all in the room, right? And we're seeing all this. So can everyone see?
I think I'm pinned, like I'm in a spotlight.
Yeah, I can see you. I can only see.
Okay, I remove my spotlight, but now yours is replaced.
And I can't unsee you. Okay, now I pin the whiteboard instead.
Oh yeah, I'll pin. Yeah, you got to pin. You got to pin.
Okay,
Can you
cool.
see the whiteboard properly?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got some local for you meetings. Now, if you've got questions, ask. I can hear you. You can hear me. You can see me behind Steve here.
Yep.
You're looking at the little picture. But there's some types of meetings at local for you. So the first one is our monthly company meeting. Everyone's familiar with that meeting? That's the one
Yes.
we do on the last Thursday. Everyone's in, right? Then we have a monthly managers meeting. And that's this one right now. Okay, so the purpose of this meeting is all the managers come together. We may talk about, as I just explained, issues, things going forward, things that are being implemented, how one department, what's happening, one department may affect another, and just information that's easily distributed to everybody. And then you can take this information and pass it to your teams, and you're the leaders understand what's happening, right? Because right at the moment, Mui might understand what's happening because I've had a conversation with her, but Nan's none the wiser until maybe I manage to remember and say something to her. So it's about everybody being on the same level of understanding. So that's the monthly managers meeting. That's new, right? So this is new. I'm just putting some new. That's a new meeting. Now there's another new meeting. This is the monthly CEO department meetings. And these meetings are with, for example, I'll use sales. This meeting would be with Steph and Nan and me. So this is a department, maybe a strategic conversation. What's the recruitment meeting? What's the workload looking like? How's our sales? What needs to be improved? Do we need to do further training? Do we, where do we want to be in 3 months' time? These are so you guys in this management meeting now, you don't want to have me listen to me and Steph talk for 40 minutes about sales team stuff, right? Mui doesn't want to, me and Mui, you don't want to have a conversation for 40 minutes and you're all listening to, but what happens when we click here and we don't go live and the date over here? So we have what's called a monthly department meeting, and that's with me, the CEO, and so for example, for sales, it would be Steph, Nan, and me. In account manager, so for San, oh, San's there. San's arrived just in time. Yay. Welcome, Tan Tan. Welcome.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Welcome. I was just talking about you'll come back and listen to the first minutes of this call. But I'm just explaining a new meeting, number 3. Can you see the whiteboard? You need to pin the whiteboard. You got the whiteboard now? Can you see my camera? Cool. So I'm just talking about the CEO department meeting. So for sales, it'll be Steph, Nan, and me. And at customer support, it'll be me and Mui. And account managers, who would it be? Who would be the meeting with? Son, I know you've just arrived, but if we're having a monthly CEO department meeting, who would be in that meeting for account managers, do you think?
John and me.
You and
John.
and
And Steve.
and me.
Yeah.
Good guess.
Me. so in this meeting, San, you've just joined us, and it's good to hear it again, guys. It's about your department, what's needed, recruitment, strategic planning, the next 3-4 months, following up on what we talked about last month. What help do you need from me? What systems, processes, implementation, guidance? It could be one of those meetings we might bring Jochen, HR, because we might be looking at recruitment strategy, right? Jochen, can you jump in and help? We need to come into this meeting. We want to talk about the next 2-3 months. What are we going to need? What's our schedule of ads and training and recruiting people? So that's the new meeting. It's on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Monday of every month. It should already be sent an invite to you the right day. So you're not meeting with me. I'm having a meeting every 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of the Monday of the month. It's not that you guys meet every week. Does that make sense? So I think on this next Monday, I'm meeting with sales. And then I'm meeting with customer support. And then it's account managers every 4th Monday. So it's monthly. Once a month, we meet together and we discuss what your department needs. Okay. So that's really, any questions about that? I can hear you if you say, you may think I'm away from the computer, but I can hear you. I've got a speaker in the room. Is there any questions about that meeting?
No.
No.
Do you think it would be helpful?
Yes.
A meeting has a place, and so you'll see in the calendar, there'll be an agenda. So if something comes up and it's not urgent, but it needs to be addressed, click into it and write your notes in there. So they come up in the meeting. Don't forget, if it's important today, something else will come up important the next day, and you'll forget. So we'll get better at this, but this is the reason that in our calendar is because you're not supposed to be magic people and remember everything, okay? But the best habit that you can learn is when there's a problem, I may say, can you put that into the calendar so that it's on the agenda when we discuss it in 2 weeks' time, right? And in 2 weeks' time, it may not be as big of a problem as we thought it was, or it may be a big problem and we need to solve. Okay, so that's how that meeting will work. Is everyone on board? Murray, you look frozen. No, you're just stunned by wisdom.
This is done.
So yeah, number 4, meeting number 4. Can you read that? Can you see that okay? Because I'm not sure if the light's working.
Yeah.
Murray, can you read that one?
It's weekly training manager. Is it? Is that
Weekly
for
training.
manager? Sale, weekly training for sale, customer support, and account manager.
Okay, we already do this. This is what we
Yeah.
are doing right now. I want to emphasize, this is a training meeting, okay? Now, I can see now as we're starting to try to have you guys a little bit more involved as managers, that it's turning into more of a team meeting than it is a training meeting. So I want us to kind of remember here, this is for training, and it doesn't have to be half an hour. In fact, we may start to shorten this a little bit, because what we want to do is in our system, we want to improve it. And we may train on one thing, stop the recording in the meeting, and then it goes into training. It doesn't have to, because it's half an hour booked, it doesn't mean we have to waffle on for 25 minutes and 24 minutes and just keep the time going. This is training, okay? So training is going to be very specific now. It needs to be very specific, because as we build training, like it could be on after the weekend, for example, maybe we may train on domain names, right? Well, we should start the recording, talk about the domain names in the meeting, put the recording in, and we've got the training updated with what we kind of seem to be doing with training, and it's been great, is we're kind of just talking about a few things and other things that come into our mind, and we're training, which is good. And I think we can get back to that once we've kind of filled up training. So just remember, this meeting is not a team meeting. So here is a new meeting that I haven't scheduled. This is a meeting that I want you guys to have. San, Mui, and Nan. Now, it can be weekly. Sorry. It can be weekly, but I think it needs to be at least weekly. So Nan may want to have a sales meeting every morning at the same time. San may want to have an account managers meeting every morning for half an hour. But the purpose of the weekly team meeting is to have that conversation. How's it going? What's your feedback? What you struggled with overnight? What do you need to learn? How can I help you? What's the problems? What's good? So the weekly, it's a team meeting. It's your team meeting with you. Okay, I don't need to be in that. I don't exist. John, Steph, and Julia, and HR, Yok, we can be there upon invitation. Right? You don't have to have us there. But if you want us there, we'll make ourselves available. Okay, so this is you and your team, right? It must happen at least weekly, a team meeting, and schedule it in. And the reason, talk to the camera now, the reason we do it at 11 o'clock our time and 8 a.m. Bangkok time is that seems to be the optimal time for night shift and day shift, and kind of merge a time without someone having to get up way too early or stay up for 3 hours after a night shift to meet a meeting. So I'm happy that doesn't have to stay to that schedule. Okay, you work that how you want, but it needs to happen. You need to, these training meetings can't turn into the team meeting. Okay, make your team meeting another time and whatever suits your team. And as a manager, you may say, I want to have a meeting with the night shift and I want to have a meeting with the day shift. But at some point, you want to get your team together once a week at least. Okay, so you may meet with your day shift or night shift people like twice or 3 times a week in different time slots, but at least try and bring your team together at the best time. Discuss with your team if it's 11, if it's the 8 a.m. time, that works. I'm just mindful. Okay, so we've got to be reasonable here. This training meeting here, we've made that mandatory, right? You must attend. And so for our staff, we're saying you've got to get up early, you've got to stay late, and we're not really expecting a shift of hours and make up that time. It's just, that's the rule of working from home and being a part of the team of Local for You, right? You have your shifts and you must make this meeting, right? So that's important. But with this here, we can't keep repeating that expectation of demand, right? Training is important because training increases quality. And so to work for Local for You, we are saying we don't care. I'm not using the words we don't care, but it doesn't matter if you're on night shift or afternoon shift or day shift, or you start at 3 or 2 or 1 or 12 or 12 or whatever, at 8 o'clock, BKK time, and 11 a.m., this is a must attend meeting. Same with this one here, right? It's a must attend meeting because it's training. We're training you to do your job. This one here, I want you to be a little bit more flexible and not so mandatory with your team. Win their favor, work with them and understand how you're going to get a team environment working. Okay, so does that make sense? Any questions? Do you need to clarify any of that? I'm just distinguishing the difference between the mandatory training meeting that everyone must do, and you as a team leader, you've got to have this meeting, but you don't want to come down as hard as I have with this one. Right? So you've got the flexibility to make it happen. And then I just want to add here one-on-one meetings. Now, this is not a scheduled time, but I'm just going through the types of meetings that we should be having in Local for You. And one-on-one meetings is you and a member of the team. Okay, so if there's more one-on-one training needed, you may do that one-on-one. You may say, I'm going to bring Stefan, or I'm going to bring Stuart, or I'm going to bring John in, or I'm going to bring Julian. Can we do some intense training in a certain area because this person's showing great potential here, but they just can't quite get their head around this. Can you help that? Okay, but also one-on-one meetings should also include performance reviews, and KPIs reviews. So there's one-on-one meetings, not just about training, it's about how you want to hold your staff accountable and review together with them. So again, this is not, you must do it on every Wednesday of every month or week as a staff member and book it in. What we will be asking is in that CEO department meeting, we're going, how are your one-on-ones going? Does that make sense? How are your one-on-ones going? So I know you can't see the whiteboard that easily anymore, but that's what it's about. So the one-on-ones, it's a meeting that you need to have with every single team member in your team when you feel you need it. I would encourage you to try and schedule that. Otherwise, it won't happen. All right, we'll be talking about it, but it won't happen. Now, this may sound like a lot of meetings. Probably is for me more than it is all of you. But we want to make sure these are important. And so what I'm going to suggest is between now and the end of the year, we want to do all these. And then based on how this all goes, in our managers meeting, probably in December, we want to review, are they enough meetings? Are they good enough? Are we getting good value out of our time? Okay, so that's going to give us 3 or 4 meetings monthly, 3 meetings probably monthly before December, so that we can get some really solid understanding and get some momentum around it. I just want to clarify here with this meetings, I'm not wanting us to turn into a meeting company, right? A company that just sits around talking all day. These necessarily meetings don't have to go on forever, right? But they need to address the purpose of those meetings. So any questions about meetings?
No.
Did I explain that enough clearly so you got a fair understanding of what a meeting would, what the purpose of those meetings are? We may cut some of this training in this video and put it into like a manager's area where we can kind of see different trainings, a review of the purpose of those meetings, and maybe a little bit more definitive within Trainium on it. So I do want to bring up a couple of things that we can discuss so we can practice working as a manager's team area. So actually, before I do that, there's a couple of things to discuss because it will affect all your team members. Yoc and HR will be rolling out very shortly a technology policy within Local for You. And this will affect everybody in every department and even some people here in this room. So as we've moved into a work from home environment, we are changing our policy. So in the office, we provided all the equipment necessary to do the job. As we're now working from home, we're going to be releasing this week 2 policy updates. One is for existing staff and one is for all new staff that are coming and joining the team who have never been to the office or coming in now, any new staff coming in going forward. So staff that are, let me address the first policy, which is new staff that are working from home and have joined the organisation. They'll be responsible for having their own laptop, a screen, a headset, and maintaining that equipment to the and internet to the standard that they need to perform the job. They'll also be required, everybody will be required to obviously have an established place of work where it's appropriate, background noise, what have you, right? So that's one update. The second update will I know, Sam, this may be the first time you'll hear it, so hopefully you don't disappear off the phone call. We are going to gift all the equipment existing to the staff that have started with us from being in the office. So everything that we have that everyone's taken home, we're gifting it to the staff that were once in the office and has that equipment at home. And however, they will be responsible for updating their equipment to the minimum specs that are required, meaning laptops, headsets, and internet speed. So, and to do that, and this is the team management, this is a decision that we made, is we're going to offer a supplement grant for that staff for a period of 6 months to co-contribute to upgrading some of that equipment because some of it's outdated, right? So that's to be kept confidential. We don't, you know, I don't want to share unfairness. People going, oh, but why I'm working from home? Why can't I get help with my technology? Well, when they're recruited and brought in, that's the standard that they need to obtain. So any existing staff that have a laptop, screen, mouse, whatever they've taken from the office, it's theirs. But it's going to require some of them to upgrade their computers and pay some extra money or buy a new one or replace it if it breaks, what have you. The job now is there. So that's an example of a management team meeting you now all understand. And now you can fire all the hard questions at me. So because your team, when we release this policy, might ask you questions. So do you have any questions about that summary that I gave about what I call the technology rollout? Any questions?
Yeah, I got a question, Steve, thanks. So you mentioned a 6-month supplement.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give us more details. I'm just a bit unsure.
2,500 baht a month over 6 months.
Okay.
So that'll be in the salary?
Right, gotcha.
Starting this month. And by November, was it November or October, Yoc? End of October or November?
On the 1st of November, so end of October.
By the 1st of November, you'll see here some staff members have got really dodgy screen share abilities and like Nan's disappearing like a blue face in her chair, right? So by the 1st of November, Nan needs to have updated her computer, however she chooses to do it, buy a brand new one and have the fastest computer in the world, or just take her one in and get it updated and get the right specs. That's what's going to be required by the 1st of November for all team members. So we'll be providing for those that were in the office, only those that ever started in the office, they'll be provided a 2,500 baht supplement over the next 6 months on top. So, and then we'll be releasing the specs, what the minimum specs are, and we'll release that every year. Update the minimum specs. And by the way, guys, it's going to be the minimum specs. We're not expecting you to have, you know, like the biggest, bestest, fastest computer in the world and pay 100,000 baht to get a computer. So some of those computers, I'm not sure, may be able to just be upgraded. That may only cost 5,000 or 6,000 baht to get extra RAM and speed put in. Or it may be not the right processor. So you may need to consider buying a new laptop, but you can keep the old one. You can sell it. You can, obviously, if you're going to sell it, please reformat the whole computer before selling it. But so if you've got any questions, your team members will get this information this week. So now's the time to ask questions because they may ask you. Any other questions? If not, you can just go ask Yo. She'll have all the other information. Cool. While I'm talking about who's asking questions to who, I want to talk about reporting. As you can see, our team is getting bigger. And Mui, do you mind if I use an example over the weekend about reporting?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So I just want to, I've asked Mui because I haven't told Mui, and I'm going to use an example that happened over the weekend. It'll be some training for Mui at the same time, but it'll be all of us to learn. So we're all in this together. We're sound like Queensland government here, but anyway, we're all learning. All right. So this is not about did Nan do the right thing or the wrong thing. Sorry, Mui. And Nan's like, what? I wasn't involved.
Okay.
So there was a customer that wasn't going live, and there was a domain name situation.
Yeah.
So Mui sent the task to Honey. If I understand correctly, correct me where I get wrong, if I got the facts wrong. And then Honey was contacting the customer to sort out the domain name. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. So first of all, let me ask the team here, and this Mui is very new at this whole role, but do you think that was the right way that should go? A problem getting a domain name, and Mui sent it back to Honey, a member of your team, Nan, to sort it out. 30 days after the sale. About 30 days after the sale, Mui, would you say?
I'm sorry,
How long the customer been with us? About 30
that
days?
was, yeah, she signed up in November, I think, that restaurant. Or
November.
no, sorry. I mean August, the beginning of August.
So
Sorry.
I'm just going to use this as a real example, right? And these are the things that this is across departments, and some of this might get dealt with quickly without having a meeting about it. But I just want to use this as an example of this is where we would discuss it. So Nan, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that should have gone back to Honey?
No, but it's actually should have been done from sales from when they sign up.
Yeah, but it wasn't, right?
No.
Okay, so the customer support person discovered that the domain name had an issue, trying to get ownership, whatever it was. Now that needs to be escalated upwards, not back, not sideways, right? So if it had gone upwards, who should have the customer support person escalated the domain name issue to?
it should be me.
Yeah. And if you couldn't solve it, who should you have escalated it to?
It could be you.
Yeah. And how long do you think it would have taken me to solve that problem?
Within a day.
Probably a
2
minute,
seconds.
probably 3 minutes. But the customer has been waiting 30 days.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, you should never have to escalate many of those at all to me, right? But I understand your training and you and the information is not there. But so what happens, we've pushed it back to sales. And what happens when we do that is sales start working backwards and they're not looking forwards. And so if there was an issue, and I don't think it is a big issue, but let's just say this became an issue, all the sales started coming through, that the job's not done properly from sales. Where would we address that issue? Where would we
Um,
talk about that problem?
mhm.
Where would we talk about it, Mui?
Sorry?
If there was lots of sales coming through
Mhm.
where the job wasn't done right, like they weren't doing domain names, weren't getting access, and it was really difficult, where would we have that conversation to discuss that problem?
I could probably talk to Nan.
Yeah, you can talk to Nan.
Okay.
Yep, we can go directly to Nan.
Mhm. Okay.
Or what's the meeting that we may have that could discuss that?
Um, uh,
Yeah.
this
meeting.
meeting. Yeah.
This meeting, especially, and I'm going to use the word trend. Okay, trend means if it's happening frequently. One off, Nan, you can talk about it, and we're not going to discourage that communication between Nan, San, and Mui. But also, this meeting is about how do we improve the process. So Nan might go, yeah, I'm aware of it. We're trying harder, but we're asking this, and Nan Mui goes, yeah, but if we don't, and we talk about how we can improve that process. So we need to start reporting upwards, not reporting sideways, or putting jobs back to people when they need to move on. So sales is a very precious environment. We can't see Nan, but I'm sure she's smiling right now. They're precious. Salespeople are very precious people, right? And we've got to protect them from always having to go back over their work. We need to address ongoing problems and make sure that the standard is where we want it to be. But then what happens is, so Honey did a fantastic job, but she was like apologetic, beside herself, trying to figure it all out, waiting for her. Like she's just got this unnecessary worry. When really, even if sales really get it really wrong, it's an account manager problem. Once sales is handed over to account managers, it's no longer a sales problem. It doesn't mean they can be neglectful and just not do their job right. Like I said, we address that. But it's never a sales problem. Once it hits account managers, it's the account managers' problem, and they need to solve it. And if they can't solve it, to you, to me.
Okay.
Same situation with account managers, customer support people. Same with account managers. So between when there's an issue with an account manager, when an account manager has an issue with customer support not doing something done, San, who would you talk to about that? So there's an account manager of yours, let's say Monsini, has a job, and what the customer support team needed to do wasn't getting done. Who should Monsini escalate that problem to?
Me, and I will talk to her.
Yeah. So yeah, it escalates to you. Now, if you don't know how to solve that problem, who should you escalate it to?
Mui.
Mui?
I think you should go to Still.
John.
Ah.
John.
Sorry, John.
I was like.
And so if it's a smallish issue, then John can determine, maybe let's get Mui and Stefan here, or I don't want to overcomplicate life, but while we're learning, right? This is why we're learning and growing, right? This is not about, in 3 months' time, 4 months' time, son, you may just go straight to Mui, right? That may be the review process. But for now, we want to improve the quality and get the decisions right so that we have improving. What's that? That's weird.
Let's talk to, sorry.
Oh, okay. So does that make sense? So you need to escalate up, because we want to at some point the three of you will be able to communicate really effectively along with marketing team, right? But we need to get our quality and our systems right. So we can't eliminate John and myself and Steph and Julia and HR. And so it might seem painful that you've got to set a task for John, son, when you could probably go straight to Mui and go, oh, guys, can you help me out, right? But if you and Mui keep solving the problem on a one-on-one basis, and you know what I mean, like a one-on-one problem, you get exhausted, you get tired. But if you escalate it to John, he may say, go talk to Mui, but he then is aware that these problems are happening. And then when we meet like this, we can go, this is the problem, we need to address it. How do we be smarter than how we're doing it right now? So please don't misunderstand the reporting as a level of not trusting you to solve the problem. We know that we need to build a solution to some of these problems. Okay, so if we don't know about them happening and you guys keep solving them together, you'll get really busy and productive, but maybe there's smarter ways that we can build the system to help. Okay, so this is important to understand that we report upwards and not sideways, but allow, like I may say to Mui, look, can you just next time schedule time with Nan and tell her the problem and see if it improves, right? And it may never come up again, and then we never talk about it again, right? We might just approve by that one conversation. So that's important. And Nan, let's use Nan now. Nan?
Yes, I'm here.
So you start getting phone calls from customers.
Yeah.
That have signed up and they're not happy. Who do you escalate it to?
Steph.
Yeah. And then Steph, what do you do?
Then I contact the customer, then I talk to you.
And then I talk to Mui. Sounds painful, right?
No.
But
that's fine for me to do.
yeah, but we've got to go up and across and then fix, right? But I do know that Mui and Nan will easily talk to each other, right? So it's not about, we don't think you can't communicate with each other. It's just there's things that we can do better here to improve everything you do there as well. So we work together on that. Oh, so reporting to who, when, and why. That was a little bit of an example. Thank you, Mui, for being humble enough to use you as an example. But we've got to be mindful we don't push it back to sales.
Okay.
And make it their problem. They've got enough problems to solve, and so we'll keep them focused forward. Anything now? So we've got 10 minutes left. I want to end this meeting on time, and it's been a lot of me talking, and I knew it would. It was just all the meeting was about talking about the abouts, right, and giving examples of what this meeting is, so we can be effective with it next month. Next month, we should have some items that we need to discuss. But right now, is there anything that you, Mui, San, Yok, Julia, and Nan, me, Steph, and John can be quiet for a second, because these guys have just been talking forever. Is there anything that you think is important to bring up in this meeting that can't wait 30 days? Wow, we're doing a lot better than I thought. Is there anything this is really important, guys. This is I just want to say, this is not a Thai meeting. This is an Aussie meeting. You've got to say what you think. Okay.
Nan knows about Aussie meetings. We were in one for 3 hours on Thursday, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And she had some Aussie stuff going on.
Yeah. I have a suggestion, actually. Yes, Julia?
Oh, I was gonna, if nobody had anything to say, I was gonna bring up what you brought up to me on Friday, and then, not having to solve it now, but talking about the levels of how that would get communicated.
Yeah.
About the Google My Business, but you go first.
Okay. Because right now we are all working from home. So the problem is that we don't really know each other. So sometimes, working from home can feel like you're working on your own. So I have a suggestion for new staff that during their induction program, during that training, they should meet with department managers in Thailand so that they know and get familiar with them.
They should
Something
do
like
what?
that.
Part of the induction process? Do what? Sorry?
Just like maybe today they might meet with Mui for 20 minutes, something like that.
You mean
news-
every manager or?
Every manager, yeah, but just for new staff so that they know the people on the team, what they're doing, something like that.
Okay, well, feedback, thoughts, what do you guys think about that? So a new staff member books a time with every manager, they kind of get to know them?
Yeah, probably 10 minutes is enough. Just like saying hi to them.
So could I ask, would it be more important to, so the problem we're trying to solve is them feeling isolated and alone at home. And you're suggesting they meet with people outside of their team? to do
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Because they'll meet with people in a team anyway, right? So they will know me, know Honey, know Tuck, and not anyone else.
Okay, anyone else, any thoughts on that?
Like I think I mentioned in the meeting that we should have a meeting that we have fun together, not just work, because we don't have work environment together, right? And this is, I suggest that we have the time together, that we do some activities, some get to know more games together. Actually, Boom Company, they are doing that. They're doing that every week and they have fun. I think that way we can get to know more each other and we have fun together, not just only work, and we talk about work all the time. Actually, it's good to talk about work all the time, right? Because we are working together, but it's just good to have fun together as well as a company, not just this is serious company, we talk about work all the time.
That's what my wife says to me on the weekend. Why are we talking about work all the time? I was like, because I don't want to have fun. I understand. So Nan's suggesting interdepartmental conversations with the managers. York suggested online gaming as a team. San, any suggestions that would be beneficial to the team feeling, I guess what we're talking about now is how do you feel connected working from home?
For our team, we have a lot of work to do. So I would like to suggest something, or I want to share the idea that when customer support upgrade for our marketing client, would be good if they will send an email all about the package that they upgrade. Like that, what they have, how to say, that they have social media post for Go client on the package is not including the Facebook post, because there are some clients just Facebook ad is not including in the packet. We have to pay.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what you're telling me is Tom, who's been doing the upgrades, needs training on explaining the package properly.
Yes, and it would be good to send an email to see in the text that what they gonna have in this packet, not only talk
Okay,
in
so-
the phone call, they might be forget that.
You mean once they sign up, they get told, they get information about what they've signed up to?
Oh,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
almost
I
like a
think too-
reminder.
Yeah, and I think too, what San is saying, maybe for those that are not getting the plus, which includes the Facebook posts, that they're explicitly told that Facebook ads is not Facebook page posts, because I think even if you were to itemize it and tell them, hey, we're doing Facebook ads for you, they might not realize, they might not understand that Facebook ads doesn't mean a Facebook page post.
Yeah, I have that problem myself when I talk to the customer. Sometimes they think that it's the same thing. I have to actually explain to them extensively that it's not the same. So if I think if the one who upgrade these people could be more clear when they speak to them and make sure that they understood what we are offering, pricing and everything, and that would be.
So let me ask you a question, because we've opened a can there. So let's just see how quickly this meeting's moved from how we can feel connected at home to solving a problem that needs to be solved. So there's two issues here. How do we feel connected at home? Let's just push that aside for a second. And let's deal with upgrades. So let me ask you guys, Mui, San, and Nan, specifically, because you are the leaders going forward of everything that we do here at Local For You. And the conversation around upgrades has always been a difficult one. Because like anything in business, if you're not focused on it, it doesn't happen, right? So until Ton and Yok were recently talked to about a month ago, hey, you guys want to focus on doing upgrades and people want to do upgrades, talk to them. We're now starting to get upgrades, right? And because we're getting upgrades, we've got quality problems, right? So we have a good problem, but the basis of this problem sits with this question: what team or teams should be responsible or trained to do upgrades? So forget Ton and Yok, who right now can have that conversation upgrade, and forget that account managers who have someone on a silver can talk to them about going up to a gold. Let's forget everything that we know about that exists right now. My question to Mui, Nan, and San is, how does Local For You take an existing customer and promote extra marketing services to them, and who should do it? That's the question. You get what I'm saying? That's the question. Because the problem that we're talking about is where we've got to put energy to solve. But if we solve it in a way that we're not going to maintain or keep doing it, we're wasting energy, right? We're solving it with the wrong people or the wrong person. So how does Local For You take a customer that comes through on a $1 trial, is happy with the online ordering system, and is doing well on the system? Who has that conversation around upgrade from Pro to Silver or Gold? Who should have that conversation? Whose area should be responsible for that? That's the conversation. That's what I want Nan, Mui, and San to talk right now about that.
I think actually it's supposed to be both of customer support and account manager to be taken care of. This kind of this existing customer that want to promote into another package, because basically I don't want to just say that, okay, I want account manager to do all that because they are specialized in that. But as a customer support, we need to understand the package as well. But as San mentioned before, that we need to be more qualified, be more clear about the package that we offer to them. So I think we can cooperate between both departments for account managers and customer support. But yeah, as a Bopan customer, they usually just like have a conversation with us. They just like contact with us because they are a Propan customer. So when they want to do something, they want to upgrade something, they will need first approach to customer support because we are the one who take care who can take care of them at the first place.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Mui.
Steph just raised his hand.
He's not Nan or San.
Come on, son. Oh, come on, Nan.
Actually, I think that it should be sales team job to do. But the problem is that the problem is that we cannot focus on both calling inside sales and out at the same time. We have to focus on one thing. Yeah.
Are you saying it should be sales, but you can't focus on it all at once?
Yeah, exactly. So if we do the upgrade, then we probably don't have enough new new customer coming in.
Is that a resource question though, rather than a responsibility question? So what you're saying is true, Nan. Right now, if it should sit in sales, but it can't because it comes at a cost of the momentum of getting new customers in the door.
Yeah.
But that's we're not trying to solve the problem of resources. We're just trying to talk about where it should sit. San, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it might be for upgrade Pro to Silver Pack. It should be on the customer support that they have to contact them. And the topic that I said, the upgrade person, that's not the problem. The problem is about the client. Forget that what package that they got a social media post, have to pay more for the SMS. I would like to suggest that after you upgrade, you send them the email or the brochure, the flyer about our package that, okay, you got one Google My Business post, you will got something like this.
Yeah. So San, I understand that you really still want to fix that problem, and we will, but it's important. Part of that problem gets fixed by having people specialized in the right information rather than generalized. So in your team, and San, your opinion here is very, very, very much valued. So I've got to shift you from trying to solve the problem of the customer getting the right information. We will solve that problem and what you're suggesting we should do. So that's what Julie's going to sort out. Write that down, Julia. We're going to make sure they get an auto response with the package that they're on. So, San.
Yes.
Your team right now has the responsibility, and soon will have very specific KPIs, so targets around upgrading from silver to gold. You have in the past sold both silver and gold in other teams, not just account manager teams. So where do you think is the best place for somebody to upgrade someone from pro to silver? Let's not talk about them going, maybe they go from pro right to gold or right to silver. But if someone comes in, ring, 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 Mui, hi Mui, I like you. Thank you very much for looking after me. I like the system. I want to get more customers. Does Local For You do marketing? That's my question. San, should Mui put it on to Ton, or should Mui give it to somewhere else? And I'm not saying Ton specifically, right, as in Ton, but right now it's Ton or Yok. That's who should take that inquiry right now. So my question to you, San, is, should it go to sales? Should it go to Ton and Yok? Should it go to the account managers team? Who should that inquiry go to? Let's ignore the outbound trying to get the business. Someone comes in and says, I want to do marketing. Who should talk to that person? Who should be providing a solution to that customer? That's the Local For You question. Do you get what I'm saying? That is a problem that we have, and we've had for a while. So, San, based on being in sales, account manager, and customer support, from what you know, who do you think is the best person, not the employee of the month, but where should that inquiry go? Who
Us.
should be, you think it should go to your team?
Yeah.
So you think your team should sell? I'm going deep here. I'm going to keep asking hard questions, right? Because if we suddenly just lump it on your team, now suddenly Monsini is a
No.
sales rep.
No, if they call, you should go to Yok and Ton.
Right. And Mui, Yok, you're here to represent Ton and Yok, right? Do you think that's the best way to grow our business in this area?
Not really, because we have to transfer all the work to the department. Like when we already got the call from the customer that they want to upgrade, and then yeah, we take that, and then we need to also have to cooperate with account manager and stuff like that, and there might be some misunderstanding or miss something along the way.
So here's the deal. Nan's team specializes in selling.
Mhm.
The customer support team specialize in supporting the customer and aren't necessarily salespeople. And here's the account managers who they're not sales team because they don't sell everything every day all day, but they administer a package and they get taught skill sets to give a silver or gold bundle experience and manage that account to being successful. So what we're asking is, where does the skill set lie? If you're relying on Tom to be a salesperson to sell a product that's even costs more than the dollar trial, right? The dollar or goes on to $149. Now suddenly Tom's selling a $3.99 package with no training, no background, and no understanding of the consequences of whether that person gets all the right information or not. That's not Tom's fault. That's my fault, right? But that's what happens when it goes into the customer support team. And now all of a sudden we're going, Tom, we need to train you to solve this problem. Whilst he's getting, can you update my menu to $13? Can you go live? Can you do, you know, so there's a lot going on in his space. I'm not saying we have a solution today, but this is an example, and we're out of time. This is an example of a robust conversation. For the next 30 days, it's likely to still stay the same way it is, right? But this is the problems that this meeting needs to start addressing. Because, you know, I appreciate your input. Miri, you're saying we should be able to do it because of this. Sales is going, it's a sales. It's a no-brainer. It's selling something. We should be selling. We're the team that sells. But if we do, we don't have enough in our team at the moment. And San's going, well, I don't care who sells it, but they've got to say the right thing and the customer's got to understand what they're getting. Right? I do think, just so we can go away thinking about a couple of things, I do think an upgrade from a silver to a gold should sit with the account manager. Account managers should be trained and understand how to upsell that product because they're the ones that have that level of trust. The reason it's been sitting in the customer support team and Mui's team is because we are contacting that customer as a relationship. And when you throw that back to sales, then you're throwing the problem back to sales too. Oh yeah, but I want to upgrade, but I'm not happy about this and the customer support this. And yeah, if you can promise me this. And so now sales are getting pulled into an ongoing, so almost like maybe we should be thinking about this for a moment. Think about this for a moment, guys. Just think about this for a moment. Right now, our program is to bring people into support, customer support, and those that perform really well get the opportunity to move into an account manager role. Okay, because they've got the background, they've got the depth, they've got the experience, they understand the customer, and they can be trained to be a really good account manager like Sana's, right? Perhaps we could adopt a very similar philosophy in sales, Nan. We could be having sales people trained up, and maybe a salesperson progresses into customer support as an internal sales person. Think about that. We're not going to solve it right now, but I want you to think about that, Nan and Mui. Right? Think about that transition. If we recruited someone, they were selling, they're doing no good, they're getting the product. Could someone like Tuck right now come into the customer support team and be an internal salesperson for that team? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know the answer because that's why we've tried different things all the time. I know what works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't work. So let's have more of a conversation around that. I just want you to think about that problem because Ton and Yok, right, whilst they can sell it and we get the upgrade, there is a level of focus that doesn't exist there. It's not their job chasing that day in, day out. They're only responding to people inquiring about it. But we should be outbound. We should be going to customers 3 months in. I can see your shopping cart's got 5,000 a week orders. Let's talk about marketing. We're not doing that right now. No one's doing that actively, and we're missing the opportunity. So that's what this group's all about. How do we brainstorm? But we used it all talking about what the meeting's talking about. So we won't solve that today, but next time.
And also there's a saying in business, when you want to grow, you grow within your own customer base. And, we have over 500 customers in our database that we can grow with. We have a sales team that goes out to new customers. You know how hard it is to get a new customer?
It's 4 times more harder to get a new customer than it is to get an existing customer to do more with you.
Yeah.
But we keep chasing the hard stuff and we're not maximizing the internal growth opportunity. So it doesn't mean we stop the front end, which Nan was saying, you can't do that. But we need to be smarter here and we need to use your guys' thinking how to get smarter. All right. Let's end the meeting, guys. Thank you for turning up. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You are a wonderful team. We are excited. Oh, this is a moment in history of Local for You. All right. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
guys. Bye.
Bye.